Hello, hello. Good afternoon. Keisha Johnson here. We are here for another day of our personal development or self-development, if you will call it. If you are catching the replay, go ahead and type in hashtag replay so I'll know that you are watching. And if you are tuning in live with me right now, go ahead and say hello so I will know that you are here. Good afternoon. All right, let me get this saved over into hello, good afternoon, say hello. Let me get this saved into my community Facebook groups. My We Write the Word, Walking for His Glory. Hello, say hello. I'm super excited to be here with you all again today. And our title of today's reading is Don't Make Assumptions. Let me give you all a moment to get on. I need to try to get this saved into my group, and then we will get going. Hello. Hey, Correct. So good to see you. Hey, Gretchen. Hello. If you did not catch the replay of the last two lives that I did on Monday and Tuesday, make sure that you catch those because they were awesome and amazing. Good afternoon. As you're tuning in, go ahead and share. And we are listening to the audio book coming out of the book, The 4 Agreements, 4 very, very powerful, life-changing agreements. And I wanted to come on to share the live. So I'll give you all just a moment to pop on so you'll know that I'm here. And then we'll go ahead and get started. And while you're here, how are you doing? Say hello. I'm so excited. I said I was going to try to come on in the 11 o'clock hour. But it's, what time is it? Like 12 o'clock? I made it. Hello. All right. So I will, let's see. Hold on. Let me make sure. Did I get this into the... Hang on just a second, you all. Let me get this pulled up on my phone. Hello. All right. I'm trying to make sure I can get YouTube pulled up on this device. Let's make sure. Let me see. All right. I think we're good. You're okay. Uh-oh. Let me turn this down. All right. Hang on just a second. All right. Hang on. I am so sorry. I thought I had this pulled up. All right, I think we're good now. So we are coming out of the book, The 4 Agreements. So many of you got your books ordered already. So I'm going to go ahead and press play and we'll go ahead and get started because I don't have a whole lot of time. Hey, Lindora, so good to see you. Hello. Can you all hear me okay? If you can hear me okay, type a number 2 in the comments because when I hit play, it's going to jump right in. There won't be any commentary or anything before. All right, here we go. I'm pressing play. The 3rd agreement.
The 3rd agreement. Don't make assumptions.
This is very powerful.
The 3rd agreement is don't make assumptions. We have the tendency to make assumptions about everything.
Okay, great.
The problem with making assumptions is that we believe they are the truth. We could swear they're real.
Awesome.
We make assumptions about what others are doing or thinking. We take it personally. Then we blame them and react by sending emotional poison with our word. That is why whenever we make assumptions, we're asking for problems.
Hello. Y'all go ahead and
we
share
make an
it.
assumption, we misunderstand, we take it personally, and we end up creating a whole big drama for nothing. All the sadness and drama you have lived in your life was rooted in making assumptions and taking things personally. Take a moment to consider the truth of this statement.
Hey.
The whole world of control between humans is about making assumptions and taking things personally. Our whole dream of hell is based on that. We create a lot of emotional poison just by making assumptions and taking it personally, because usually we start gossiping about our assumptions. Remember, gossiping is the way we communicate to each other in the dream of hell and transfer poison to one another. Because we are afraid to ask for clarification, we make assumptions and believe we are right about the assumptions. Then we defend our assumptions and try to make someone else wrong. It is always better to ask questions than to make an assumption, because assumptions set us up for suffering. The big mitote in the human mind creates a lot of chaos, which causes us to misinterpret everything. We only see what we want to see and hear what we want to hear. We don't perceive things the way they are. We have the habit of dreaming with no basis in reality. We literally dream things up in our imaginations. Because we don't understand something, we make an assumption about the meaning, and when the truth comes out, the bubble of our dream pops, and we find out it was not what we thought it was at all. An example. You're walking in the mall and you see a person you like.
Good afternoon.
That person turns to you and smiles and then walks away. You can make a lot of assumptions because of this one experience and even create a whole fantasy. And you really want to believe this fantasy and make it real. In your mind, a whole relationship begins from that. A whole dream begins to form just from your assumptions, and you think, oh, this person really likes me. Maybe you even get married in this fantasy land. But the fantasy is in your mind, in your personal dream. Making assumptions in our relationships is really asking for problems. Often we make the assumption that our partner knows what we think, and that we don't have to say what we want. We assume they're going to do what we want because they know us so well. If they don't do what we assume they should do, we feel so hurt and say, you should have known.
Hey.
Another example. You decide to get married, and you make the assumption that your partner sees marriage the same way that you do. Then you live together and you find out this is not true. This creates a lot of conflict, but you still don't try to clarify your feelings about marriage. The husband comes home from work and the wife is mad, and the husband doesn't know why. Maybe it's because the wife made an assumption. Without telling him what she wants, she makes an assumption that he knows her so well that he knows what she wants, as if he can read her mind. She gets so upset because he fails to meet her expectations. Making assumptions in relationships leads to a lot of difficulties.
A lot.
A lot of misunderstandings with people we supposedly love.
This is a very, very good audiobook. Hey there. Good afternoon. Y'all say hello as you're tuning in. Say hello.
In any kind of relationship, we can make the assumption that others know what we think, and we don't have to say what we want. They're going to do what we want because they know us so well. If they don't do what we want, what we assume they should do, we feel hurt and think, how could you do that? You should know. Again, we make the assumption that the other person knows what we want. A whole drama is created because we make this assumption and then put more assumptions on top of it. It is very interesting how the human mind works. We have the need to justify everything, to explain and understand everything in order to feel safe. We have millions of questions that need answers because there are so many things that the reasoning mind cannot explain. It is not important if the answer is correct. Just the answer itself makes us feel safe. This is why we make assumptions. If others tell us something, we make assumptions. And if they don't tell us something, we make assumptions to fulfill our need to know and to replace the need to communicate.
Isn't that the truth?
Even if we hear something and we don't understand, we make assumptions about what it means and then believe the assumptions. We make all sorts of assumptions because we don't have the courage to ask questions. These assumptions are made so fast and unconsciously most of the time because we have agreements to communicate this way. We have agreed that it is not safe to ask questions. We have agreed that if people love us, they should know what we want or how we feel. When we believe something, we assume we are right about it to the point that we will destroy relationships in order to defend our position.
So true.
We make the assumption that everyone sees life the way we do. We assume that others think the way we think, feel the way we feel, judge the way we judge, and abuse the way we abuse. This is the biggest assumption that humans make. And this is why we have a fear of being ourselves around others. Because we think everyone else will judge us, victimize us, abuse us, and blame us as we do ourselves. So even before others have a chance to reject us, we have already rejected ourselves.
Nasty spirit
That is
of
the way the
rejection.
human mind works. We also make assumptions about ourselves, and this creates a lot of inner conflict.
have a book
We
for that.
overestimate or underestimate ourselves because we haven't taken the time to ask ourselves questions and to answer them.
Hey there.
Perhaps you need to gather more facts about a particular situation. Or maybe you need to stop lying to yourself about what you truly want. Often when you go into a relationship with someone you like, you have to justify why you like that person. You only see what you want to see, and you deny there are things you don't like about that person. Then you make assumptions, and one of the assumptions is, my love will change this person. But this is not true.
Not
Your
true at
love will
all.
not change anybody. If others change, it's because they want to change, not because you
True.
can change them.
Mm-hmm.
Real love is accepting other people the way they are without trying to change them. If we try to change them, this means we don't really like them. Find someone whom you don't have to change at all. It is much easier to find someone who is already the way you want him or her to be, instead of trying to change that person.
We can't change anybody.
Also, that person must love you just the way you are, so he or she doesn't have to change you at all. If others feel they have to change you, that means they really don't love you just the way you are. So why be with someone if you're not the way he or she wants you to be? We have to be what we are, so we don't have to present a false image. Just imagine the day that you stop making assumptions with your partner, and eventually with everyone else in your life.
Or anybody, yes.
The way you communicate will change completely, and your relationships will no longer suffer from conflicts created by mistaken assumptions.
Mm-hmm.
One way to keep yourself from making assumptions is to ask questions.
A lot of
Make
questions.
sure the communication is clear. If you don't understand, ask. Have the courage to ask questions until you are clear as you can be. And even then, do not assume you know all there is to know about a given situation. Once you hear the answer, you will not have to make assumptions because you will know the truth.
There it is.
Also, find your voice to ask for what you want. Everybody has the right to tell you no or yes, but you always have the right to ask. Likewise, everybody has the right to ask you, and you have the right to say yes or no.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't understand something, it is better for you to ask and be clear instead of making an assumption. The day you stop making assumptions, you will communicate cleanly and clearly, free of emotional poison. Without making assumptions, your word becomes impeccable.
The
With
first
clear
agreement.
communication, all of your relationships will change, not only with your partner, but with everyone else. You won't need to make assumptions because everything will become clear. This is what I want. This is what you
Good
want.
afternoon.
If we communicate in this way, our word becomes impeccable. If all humans could communicate with impeccability of the word, there would be no wars, no violence, no misunderstandings. All human problems would be resolved if we could just have good, clear communication.
Come on, somebody.
This, then, is the third agreement. Don't make assumptions. Just saying this sounds easy, but it is difficult to do. It is difficult because we so often do exactly the opposite. We have all these habits and routines that we are not even aware of. Becoming aware of these habits and understanding the importance of this agreement is the first step. But understanding its importance is not enough. Information or an idea is merely the seed in your mind. What will really make the difference is action. Taking the action over and over again strengthens your will, nurtures the seed, and establishes a solid foundation for the new habit to grow.
Y'all type action
After
in the
many
comments.
repetitions,
Action.
these new agreements will become second nature, and you will see how the magic of your word transforms you from a black magician into a white magician. A white magician uses the word for creation, giving, sharing, and loving.
In other
By
words,
making this one
word
agreement a
curses or
habit,
speaking life.
your whole life will be completely transformed. When you transform your whole dream, magic just happens in your life. What you need comes to you easily because spirit moves freely through you. This is the mastery of intent, the mastery of love and gratitude. and the mastery of life. This is the goal of the Toltec. This is the path to personal freedom.
Okay, so that is the third agreement, and I thought it was very powerful. And so, like I keep saying, I know that some kind of have their opinions regarding the book because of some of the language used in the book, but if you really just pay attention and take the lesson, you'll know that it's definitely scriptural. So the first agreement was talking about being impeccable with your words and how it's important for us to speak life over ourselves, because we can be speaking curses, right, over ourselves and other people and not even know it. And so it's so important for us to go back and break those curses that we have spoken over ourselves and that others have spoken over ourselves. And yesterday, we listened to Don't Take Anything Personally. And that was very powerful and something to practice, not taking anything personally, whether someone says something good, whether someone says something bad, whatever it is. Just make a decision to not take anything personally. And for me, I'm learning how to not make assumptions, because us making assumptions based on what we think we know, because, right, we're afraid to ask because of that nasty spirit of rejection, right? And so this is another book that I recommended. I know it's backwards. It's Rejection, Identity Theft Exposed, and it's by Beverly Tucker. And this is a very powerful book. It's not very thick. The print is very big, so you can read this in like a couple of days, and it's packed with prayer and scripture. So in other words, a lot of times we are afraid to ask because we're afraid of being rejected. So what? Today we're reminded that we can ask, right? Others have the right to say yes. Others have the right to say no, just like we have the right to say yes and we have the right to say no. So if you're not too shy, I would love for you to share your takeaway in the comments and see what you all thought. So there were a couple of things that I wrote down. And so what I'm learning to do is I'm practicing the art of asking, the art of asking, and asking a lot of questions, where there was a time where I used to be afraid to ask, I fear for lots of different reasons. So I thought this agreement was very, very powerful, and something, if we practice this, it's life-changing. And like he said, it's not easy. It's something that you have to continually practice. And the more, hello, Constance, and the more that we practice something, the easier it gets. So don't be shy. What was the one thing or the one aha moment or one thing that just jumped out at you or stood out? So I'll say, with me personally, I've been spending this entire year practicing emotional intelligence, right? Because my emotions used to be just wild all over the place and completely out of control. And so really just practicing emotional intelligence and not allowing my emotions to be the boss of me, right? Because I would say at one time I made my emotions my God, lowercase g. I listened to my emotions more than anything. And so I thought this was a very powerful agreement. And so he said, making assumptions leads to problems in our relationships. And that's very, very true. So, and then another thing that was very powerful, just a reminder that we cannot change other people. Anybody else on the live ever tried to change a person, really thought that they could change a human being to be the way they wanted them to be? Lesson learned. We cannot change another human being. It doesn't matter who it is. So I just wanted to show up because I'm always listening to audios, reading books, because I've learned that our personal development, our self-development, even like our spiritual growth, all of it is our responsibility. So I don't know, I just wanted to kind of jump on for you all to listen with me. I pray that this blessed you. I'm always, whenever I'm reading or listening, I take notes. So I have lots of these little spiral notebooks. And then go back and read. So you'll notice I kind of highlight some things, and whenever I highlight it, that's something that I need to take action on, or need to work on, or need to practice. So I was highlighted so I'll know, okay, I need to practice this, I need to work on that, I need to take action on that. So that's kind of what I do. I pray that this blessed you. If it did, go ahead and share the video, and that's it. Let's see, epic fail. Yeah, right. Trying to change a person, right? Listen. Listen. 'Cause, 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 'cause when I finally got the fact that I can't change a person, it's totally life-changing once you get that. All right, so I have to get ready to go. I was so excited. My labels came in the mail today for some of my items. I have been waiting for them to come in the mail for my rose hip oil and the rose water serum. I ran out, so now it's back in stock. So yeah, if you're asking what do you put on your skin, my rose hip oil and my rose water on my website. So I have the labels, and now I can put some of this stuff back up in stock on the website. Woohoo! And then I have some other items that came in that I need to go through. So yeah, I need a knife to open that. So anyway, all right, you all are being shy today. No other takeaways? It helps to find a thing out. Yeah, doesn't it? When we finally get it, right? Listen, I've learned that life is just a series of tests, right? And if we fail the test, we have to keep taking it. And there are some tests, 36 years. Listen. Exactly. For us, what's 1998? Hold on. I should know this, but I don't. This is so bad. What's 2020 minus 1998? Okay, it's been 22 years. After a certain period of time, you quit counting. So yeah, we've been married for 22 years, going on 23 years. So we got married in August 1998. And so it took me half of that to learn you can't change a person. You can't change a human. Wow, 36 years married. That is awesome. Uh-oh, I messed this up. Fear is connected. Listen, yes, fear is connected to not having control over my emotions. Yes, ma'am. Yes, that's another nasty spirit. So I'm constantly talking about the spirit of fear. We're talking about rejection all the time, pride, unforgiveness, offense, just all of these different things. So, all right, I have to go. But I did want to make sure I showed up like I said I would. And I'll be back again tomorrow for us to listen to the last agreement. And then, I don't know. I don't know. Do you all like listening to the audiobooks together, or do you feel like, I can just listen to it myself on my own time? I just think it's nice for us to get together and do this. It's not too late for me to mature and grow up. Listen, we're all still maturing. We're all still growing up. At least I know I am. Claire says, I will listen to the replay. You're at work. Okay. All right, you all. So I'm going to go. I actually have to go to Walmart. I ran out of ink for my printer. And then I have to go to the post office. I have to get these labels and stuff on my bottles to get, I put on the website that the rose hip oil and the rose water tonic was sold out. It's actually not sold out. I just didn't have the labeling for the bottles. I kind of miscounted and ran out. So I have that to do. Then I have a lot to do today. I have some phone calls to make. Yeah, lots of things. All right. Hey, Alfred. All right, that's my alarm telling me it's time to get off the live. That's literally what the alarm said. Get off the live. I set my alarm for 12:30 and it said get off the live. So I'm sorry. That probably wasn't funny, but it was funny to me. It was funny to me. I have to set alarms for everything. It literally was in caps. Get off the live. Like, my phone always yelling at me, bossing me around. All right, you all. I have to go. My phone told me it's time to go. Bye, y'all. If this blessed you, share it, and I'll be back tomorrow sometime between the 11 and 12 o'clock hour for us to listen to part 4, and then we'll be done, and then I'll see what the next book is that we can listen to. Yeah, my phone, yeah. And in the mornings, my alarm is like, time to wake up. The next alarm, if I hit snooze, you better get up now. And if I hit snooze again, that next alarm says, you better be out of the bed. And then at 6 o'clock a.m., it says, you better be working out. Like, that's how I set my alarms, and that's how my phone. All right, bye, y'all. See you later. Bye.